7 names, no games as I run it down the line. We got Kenny Ken, put 100 on the tees with the streak for the cash. He ESPN. Seth Curry with the shot. The prodigy. In reality, he's more like Seth, but he's all we got. Up next is Gentleman Jack, better known as Junior Blue. We told him not to do it anyway, but he did what he do. To his right is Devin, that dude, Eldad or Dirt Ass Dan. Just don't ask him a question, cause then he'll answer your question with another question, and then he'll add another question on top of that question. Damn. And I'm Red O, the Buck Wild Problem Child.
Flow Butter, aka John Cutter.
It's the league ambassadors, and we playing to win. At the 2-yard line, and make no mistake, we running it in. Pete Carroll, we see you.
Thank you for visiting 32 Kings Road, hosted by the league ambassadors. I'm Ambassador Kenny Ken, and it is my pleasure to be here today with my brothers. This is episode 60 of our vodcast, and we've got Chef Curry live and in effect in the studio.
In the building.
In the building.
I'm here, guys. I'm here, finally.
We're going to complete our holiday wish list for the lovable losers of the 2018 NFL season. We will also discuss some hot topics, as well as, seeing as how this will be the last show of 2018, and the next time that we come back, the NFL playoffs will start. We're going to make some playoff predictions. But first, as a reminder, you can follow us everywhere on social media. Our handle is @TheLeagueAM. That's Twitter. That's Facebook. That is Instagram. Also, please check out our website, theleagueam.com, where you can see all of our previous episodes, both of 32 Kings Road, as well as our secondary show, Confirmation Bias. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, League Ambassadors. Chef Curry, it's good to see you, sir.
You too, man.
All
Good
right.
to see you guys.
What you sipping on, Pimp Juice?
I'm sipping on this cup of Uncle Jamie that I believe we are sharing as a brotherhood.
Yes.
Not sure. None will be left by the end of the show.
God willing.
Absolutely. First and foremost, I just want you guys to know that this morning before I left, I paid $2.11 for gas. On my way here, I saw regular gas at its highest was $3.99. This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. The prices you guys to pay
Go to
out here.
Beverly Hills. It's $4.60.
The Saudis ain't hooked us up yet.
I'm walking.
You won't.
No, I won't.
Redo, what you sipping on?
I wasn't.
That wasn't what you was sipping
I
on?
wasn't. No.
Damn, jumping the gun.
Yeah, let me get
You
there.
was just talking shit.
Yeah, I just talking my first few hours in LA. But more importantly, though, I wanted to bring light to the fact that Panthers, Kenyon, this is a serious moment in Black history. Panthers safety Eric Reed, much maligned Eric Reed, came out early today and announced that he had been drug tested for the 7th time in 11 weeks since being an active player. We know what's going on, but the collusion is very clear. It's crystal clear.
Well, 7 is a number of completion, my brother.
Not for him. did he pass, though? That's what's important. Did he pass? So that's worth making note
At least he know they coming.
every week.
No fail.
Hopefully they all know we're coming. Redo, what you sipping on?
Man, listen. Hey, Kev, did you have to get both parents to sign for a minor to fly by himself?
My mom did. My
No,
dad
okay,
didn't. He
just
can't survive
checking.
alone.
So I'm shipping on Jamie too, because we all sipping on Jamie.
He's shipping on it too.
Ship it, Pittsburgh, well, all of it.
This is gonna be that show, folks.
But what I'm really sipping on is rookie Roquan Smith being the first rookie on the Bears since Brian Urlacher to be a rookie to lead his team in tackles. Foreshadowing for his career. Let's go.
Talk that shit, Omar. Man, y'all notice how much he didn't care about football last year?
hey, or the year before that. Or the year before that.
You can keep going.
Dad, what you sipping on, sir?
Well, Omar's put in his time. He's went through the long lean years.
Man.
So I'm sipping on fake ass fans. You know, I feel like if you a new fan, you can't talk your shit unless you a real fan, unless you've been through something.
Put in some time.
You know, like you can talk all the hey,
For the rest of my life.
I'm rooting for you, brother.
And I'm lonely out here.
Hey, lone wolf.
Every week.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm sipping on. And this week,
Verse. All you whores.
Baltimore versus you whores, bitch. Facts. Let's go.
Well, to piggyback off of that, I'm sipping on the thinning bandwagon of the Los Angeles Rams.
It's not thinning.
It's thinning.
Just like a Clipper fan.
It's thinning. It's thinning. The Rams are struggling. We're going to get into it in a little bit, but the Chargers, they're looking good.
What city they playing?
Los Angeles.
San Antonio.
We're looking right.
Actually, they playing
Carson.
Actually, they playing Carson. They playing Carson. Wrong answer. Who's the starting left guard?
Hey, you a fan?
You a fan? Who's the starting left guard, Kenyon?
Joe Barksdale. Let's go.
That sounds like some wire made up shit.
Show prep.
Junior Blue.
Hey, first off, I want to give a big shout out
Yes.
to Jalen Daniels,
Yes.
Mondale High School
Ball.
football.
Yes.
Right, Jay.
CIF 2A state champions. It wasn't easy, but they brought that chip home. So congratulations to y'all. Hey, enjoy it.
Hey. Oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, enjoy it. What's up?
And Jay, if you listening, never forget I beat you in a foot race.
He's probably gonna say run that back.
I'm going out of check.
Let you know that now.
Bow
But
out gracefully.
you know what? Coach Joe brought up a good point. And
Actually, it's a segue. You're Jalen.
exactly,
Yeah, there you
mobile
go.
quarterback out the pocket. Over the weekend, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Josh Johnson, Marcus Mariota,
One of
Josh
those names
Allen,
don't belong.
hey, Money Mitch, Baker Mayfield. All of them won over the weekend. Then you have players like Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, and Cam Newton who took L's this weekend, but they're also definitely mobile quarterbacks. My question to you guys is the Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Phillip Rivers standing in the back, slinging the rock out there over with? Is this the new era, or is this something that will play out?
I think genetics will win out. I think that I'm serious because
That's what they said on the docs too.
It wasn't just the doc. but what I mean by that is that the faster, stronger, bigger that these defensive linemen are getting, it's going to be harder for these offensive linemen to be able to keep them at bay. So the less mobile you are, the more likely you are to get cranked by somebody like a Khalil Mack or a Joey Bosa, who looks like if he stopped playing football, he's probably a model for fucking Banana Republic or something. If he stops pumping the juice, because they all do. But so I think it's something that
Taking shots, I hear you.
no, it's just facts. They have a family. They have a history.
It's a factory in them.
Yeah, they breeding motherfuckers over there. But anyway, I think that it's there will be some that will still be around, and I think some of these mobile quarterbacks will morph into those because the older you are, the smarter, the more cagey you'll get. It'll be around, but I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the last great pocket passer that was drafted was Matt Ryan. Because I don't consider Andrew Luck a pocket passer because he's mobile. He can get out of the pocket. He can make things happen. Can you tell me another one aside from Matt Ryan? And that was 2008.
Joe Flacco was drafted in that same draft.
Exactly. You can make my point.
I think the adjective is great.
I don't think
Matt Ryan's not great either.
We
but
shooting.
I don't think it'll ever be dead because a quarterback is a quarterback. If you are pinpoint accuracy, if you can run a timing offense and you are of the right complexion, they will draft you. So it will increasingly year by year be more quarterbacks that are mobile, and it's not such a what's the word I'm looking for? It's not something that GMs are going to shy away from anymore because we all said it many times. It's a copycat league.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you add that to the fact that, and we mentioned this on previous shows and previous seasons, the changes in the off-season workout requirements and training camp requirements, I think, have impacted the effectiveness of offensive lines. So as a quarterback, you have to be more mobile to be able to escape the fact that your guys up front can't block for that much longer. That's right. We talked about the changes in defensive ends. And I also think what contributed to that is the notion that players up and coming through, youth leagues no longer believe in the one sport system. Like we had a Heisman Trophy winner who I learned this last week when we talked about it. He actually was a baseball player. And I think it helps quarterbacks, and you, me, and Anthony, who's been on the show, talked about this earlier, that guys who go from playing baseball, playing other sports, use their talents in football. So guys are more mobile. Guys do have more of a diverse skill set. So I think you do have to be more mobile to succeed in today's NFL. And I think it also adds an element to offenses. Now, we saw how offenses have been, heavily invested in this year. Mobile quarterback, that's something else you got to defend. And I was joking when I mentioned Joe Flacco, but you see the difference with the Ravens and how teams have to all of a sudden change their entire game plan against a team where a quarterback can run and sometimes throw the ball. So
I think the preference has been and will always be that you want a quarterback that has mobility, even if it's just to have movement in the pocket, because you can reset the pocket. The perfect quarterback is going to be the quarterback that throws first but has the ability to run effectively, where it's a legitimate threat. Russell Wilson would be, I think, that the perfect example of that.
I disagree. I think it's Kermit the Frog.
Well, I mean,
we'll see.
But Kermit is an exception. And for those that don't know, we're talking about Patrick Mahomes.
We're talking about Patrick Mahomes.
We're going to Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick is an exception because of his arm strength. I mean, if you got an arm talent.
But you said throw the ball first, run second.
Right.
He can use his athleticism to make those crazy moves.
Exactly. But the way that he moves in the pocket, he's not necessarily an up the field quarterback. He wants to extend the pocket or move to the side, but he has the arm talent to make ridiculous throws. I don't think you're going to have those quarterbacks all the time. You just want a quarterback that understands and has the ability to run. The threat of the run is there, but their focus is passing because it lulls the defense to sleep. But I also think you have to credit the spread offense, the preponderance of the spread offense. And so having a mobile quarterback, a running quarterback, it becomes another element, as you said, Kevin, for defenses to take into consideration, because now all of a sudden you can go empty and that quarterback is also a live threat to run. If you go man and you're out there, that means no one is spying that quarterback. But within a spread offense, you also have effective pocket passers. And the way that you manage that against defenses, aggressive defensive fronts, is you get the ball out quicker. You said Aaron Rodgers earlier, Dev, same thing. When Aaron Rodgers, if they're having trouble blocking it up, they'll go spread, and it's quick, it's short, quick passing. So there's still room for the traditional classic pocket passer.
I wouldn't say Aaron is traditional.
Yeah,
what I'm saying is, I'm not saying he's traditional. What I'm saying is that you have seen those moments where if they're having trouble with a rush, they will spread and then they will go to a quick passing game. Same thing with Tom Brady. So Tom Brady, who is what we would identify as being a classic pocket passer, is still able to function in today's NFL with the preponderance of the spread because they can get the ball out fast.
It's coming to an end. The most underappreciated
time is 99 and up
that a quarterback can have is stepping up or sidestepping, because Peyton Manning couldn't outrun a toddler. But he knew how to. His step up or sidestep game is immaculate, and because that's all it takes.
Well, he was playing chess out there. He knew 5 steps ahead of where he needed to put places.
But he knew how to use the opposing players' leverage against them.
Yeah. So I think the takeaway, Junior Blue, is that there's room.
Try that one more time.
What I said?
Try one more time.
Junior Blue. It felt Blue. It felt like a Blue. Junior Blue. I think
wet your whistle.
I think the takeaway is that there's room for both. Right. I think optimal, you definitely want mobility from your quarterback, but I think even with all that's happened this weekend, and even if you look at the college football playoff that's coming up, 3 out of the 4 quarterbacks that are playing potentially for the national championship are all mobile quarterbacks. There's still place and there's still room for both quarterbacks. Let's get to our holiday wish list. We've got 5 teams on the docket this week. And as we did last week, we basically are going to create or identify 3 wishes for teams that have no shot at 2018 NFL season Super Bowl. We're going to start with the Denver Broncos in the AFC West. They're 6-8. They actually came off of a huge loss, disappointing loss this weekend to the San Francisco 49ers.
First off, what the fuck were they thinking?
Well, take it away, Dad.
What was the 49ers thinking?
They were, they just...
They had the number 1 seed locked up. We just talked about it last week. Now they're set to be in 4th.
That's good.
You know what?
I'm happy with that.
But you know what? You know what, though? I think, honestly, it's a testament to good coaches, man. You got
good coaches, bad GM. Hey, the call's got to come down from on high. Hey, I like the spunk, kid.
When you're
get the L. Cut it. Get the L.
Yeah,
it's a bigger picture.
Yeah, but I think there's a bigger picture there in terms of changing the culture, man.
I get that.
And so I listen. It just, if I'm a GM, yeah, I'm with you. I'm like, damn.
Because even if there's not one particular player that you want, you can use that number 1 pick as leverage.
But let me ask you this.
When Le'Veon's in the backfield next year, it doesn't matter anyway, right?
Or said a different way, would you rather have the number 1 pick, or would you rather have the security of knowing that you've got your coach for the next 10 years?
You're right. I got that.
They knew that anyway.
Denver Broncos, what's your wish list? Not necessarily. You don't know until you know.
Okay, so for Denver, as much as it pains me to say this, I think maybe it might be time for a coaching change, even though we talked several weeks ago about he coached back for his job.
He coached back for his job.
But here's the thing. Mr.
He shot all his shots.
Mr. Vance Joseph
Yeah.
has the longest streak in 50 years of losing a game in his tenure, which is 8 years. 8 games. First shutout loss in 25 years. First loss at home to the Bengals since 75. First loss to the Browns since 1990. First loss to Cleveland and Denver in 46 years. Consecutive losing seasons for the first time since 72, which is possible if they don't finish 8.
So he's been first for all the wrong reasons in Denver.
He gone.
But I think we all know, and I think we knew this in March or April, but Case Keenum ain't the answer.
But they stuck with him.
They
didn't have a better option.
He was the best choice on the squad.
They might be able to do something, but that's a little later conversation. But I think for that particular,
because it's a 2-year deal, right? 2 years for $32 million. They signed him for.
Yeah, they would have to eat. I think it's like 14 or something.
It's like
that.
$14 million they'd have
But
to eat.
That's a lot of money to eat.
But this team, I think they're set up with their backfield.
Mhm.
I think Lindsey is Lindsey and Royce.
Yeah.
Right.
They got lucky with Lindsey.
Right. They did. But hey,
Yeah, is there.
luck is there.
Yeah.
The defense is getting a little older, but the defense is still solid.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what Emmanuel Sanders is going to be
Yeah, when he comes back.
When he comes back, but I think they need more playmakers on offense, and that could start with a new quarterback. And even somebody like Tyrod would be better than Case Keenum.
He's a mobile
Kev.
quarterback. Well, to piggyback off of that, and we'll get to it a little later, Kenyon, they're in your division, allegedly. You can agree, we can all agree that the Broncos are one solid quarterback away from making some noise. And I think they need someone who takes more risks, someone who can throw the ball down the field, who, again, we'll get to later. But I think that also the loss of Demaryius Thomas, right?
Yes.
Going to Houston. I think they need a more reliable, a large third down receiver who they can throw the ball to when it counts. And I don't know if they necessarily have that right now, or if Case Keenum's the guy to get that guy the ball if he's on their roster.
Les, they've got $44 million and potentially more available. They're talking about a number one receiver. I think their defensive front certainly is good, but when we get into that secondary, I think that they need some more pieces on the other side, particularly at corner, also at safety. What are you doing with that $44 million if you're the Broncos, if you're John Elway?
I am adding another safety.
And also, I'm with them. They do need receivers. Emmanuel Sanders was getting old to begin with. Now he's out with the ruptured Achilles.
Yeah.
Ruptured Achilles. They gave up Thomas for a draft pick.
Yeah.
I think they need weapons also. Case Keenum's not the answer. So they need an overhaul on offense outside of running back, really.
I don't know if and no one brought it up, but I think
Before you get going, I just want you to know how I feel to get cut off.
Oh, I know. I seriously think, it's time to start talking about Elway's job performance.
Fair.
Because I don't know if I want Elway to draft the next quarterback. Because
Speak on it. Speak on it, bro.
like that's my biggest thing with them. It's like Elway is getting this pass that I don't think he deserves anymore.
You're not gonna. Elway has the golden ticket
about to
in
say,
Denver.
I mean, listen,
Elway is Jesus Christ
listen,
over there.
He don't know how to draft the quarterback.
I know this.
well, listen.
He's had his chances.
Or
bro.
hire a coach.
I might have been
or
with you.
sign a quarterback.
Listen, there were rumors coming out this week that apparently he tried to coax Mike Shanahan
Yeah.
into
Oh my
which
God.
that's scary. That's real scary because if that's your go-to at this point, that means that you might be asleep at the wheel.
You're reaching.
At the same time, he did find Philip Lindsay. So,
Philip Lindsay found them, bro. He was a
on,
practice
man.
squad
Hometown
player.
kid.
He was almost going to sign with the Ravens, and then he decided to sign with Denver. He lucked up on that, like Les said earlier. That wasn't necessarily his skill.
He's a light-skinned running back, so we don't know.
let's move on to the Cleveland Browns. 6-7-1. Listen, and they actually are coming off of a win, but the numbers just aren't in their favor. Have had a great, for them, season.
No, this is great. Name another team that added 6 wins.
For real.
Hey, you know what?
Maybe
you know
the
what?
Bears.
You know what? That's funny, Devin. I didn't think of it like that. That's real. Name a team that added 6 wins because they started from the bottom. Now they're here. Junior Blue. What's on their wish list?
They need another playmaker. They need to find a coach that can handle Baker Mayfield.
So are you with?
No,
We're not keeping it the same.
Man, hey, it's tempting though, isn't it? Right now,
It's tempting.
It is, but when you look at their offense, it struggles.
Okay.
It struggles. They're winning with 17 points, 12 points, and that's a problem.
Okay.
They need another playmaker. And another offensive.
Let there be
weapon.
light.
Yeah, another offensive playmaker. Their defense though, their defense is real.
This is legit.
I think if they add another cornerback,
Yes.
they would be a top 10 defense.
They're going to have a ton of money. They've got
They
a
hit
ton
with
of
Denzel
picks.
Ward.
They got a ton
Yeah.
of money. They got a ton of picks. Kev?
Yeah, it's funny you said that, Les, because I'm in agreement that their defense is real, but statistically, they rank like in the high 20s in terms of like every major defensive category. I think those stats are misleading. That defense is solid.
Yeah.
Specifically in their division, trust me, I know.
Because it's more of a bend but don't break defense.
Right, and they
I
have
was
the
actually going to
talent.
go with another cliche, feast or famine. Greg Williams likes to blitz a lot.
Right. You
So
give up the back
you
interceptions.
so you give it up a little bit. Keep going.
But I think they need to add some more. I agree with the points Les made. I think they can add to their linebacker position in order to cover, of course, in the division that they play. But we talked about earlier, the league where we are, where it's all about space. Guys getting open in space, and your linebackers have to be able to cover. My biggest question, though, and I think people have just assumed that the Bruce Arians things was going to happen. If that doesn't pan out, what's Plan B? Is Greg Williams your head coach?
I say you give Williams the Fangio deal. You pay him in like a head coach to get him to stay, and you go give all your money you can to get somebody out of who just took a job at USC to run your offense. Because I think him and that quarterback will make some explosions. I think that would be a good mix.
Who's the head coach?
No.
The head coach has to be an offensive mind. That's what you're saying.
What's Kingsbury? That's who I think they should go get.
You're not going to bring in someone that has no experience at the pro level.
Why not?
You're not.
Why
It
not?
hasn't been done. Name me someone that has since the 80s.
They run in college offenses now anyway. They don't have to.
It doesn't. It's different. Yeah, Dev.
I think you're onto something with the tons of money, the tons of picks. They have 10 picks, so they need to draft younger talent and keep that mold that everyone's doing.
Build depth.
where they have the young quarterback under the rookie deal and build depth. I think the biggest thing is to pick their head coach wisely.
Yeah.
It has to be somebody that can have a great relationship with Baker Mayfield, a la the beginnings of Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers, where they could grow. But I think the big
Grow together or grow apart?
both.
Grow together, then grow apart.
But I think we all agree Bruce Arians is the number
Right.
one like choice.
Right, but with the head coach picked wisely comment, what I mean by that is they just need to learn how to win. If you look at they should be 11-3. They should have beat the Steelers, the Raiders, the Saints, the Bucks, and the Chiefs. They should be 11-3 this year.
But is that so? Okay.
Learning how to win.
So
That's
learning.
youth.
So learning how. I was gonna say. So learning how to win. So because they've got money to spend, I think you use the draft
Yeah.
to build the depth that you need. And I think with the money that you have, it's not necessarily, I think, not frontline players, but just quality veterans that get at exactly that. In terms of the coaching thing, I mean, I like the idea of Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians is campaigning for the job. He wants the job. But
Hey, if the black man want the job, give him the job.
But I'm also not averse to what they have, the system they have already. Granted, we have seen Greg Williams, particularly with his defense, we've seen it where they'll have a really good year and come back the second year, teams make adjustments. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. We're going to stay in the AFC, and we'll go to the Miami Dolphins. 7-7. They were kind of in there against Minnesota this weekend until they weren't.
What?
They gave up a lot of rushing yards. And unfortunately, they're in a situation where they only have about $20 million in cap, but they could get to $50-60 million in cap space if they cut Devontae Parker, Andre Branch, Robert Quinn, Rashad Jones. I'm not hearing anybody that has to stay. So this is a team.
None of them.
So this is a team that could potentially have some money to play with. Junior Blue, where you going with that?
Atom bomb.
Blow it
The
up.
whole thing up.
And pun intended.
Pun intended,
Then
huh?
clean it up and then rebuild.
Okay.
That's the 3 wishes.
Okay.
Because they are going to be on this roller coaster of 8-8, 9-7, make the playoffs. Then we're going to go 7-9, 6-10, miss the playoffs, and they'll never get anywhere.
So blow it up.
Blow the whole thing up.
So staying with the blowing it up, Redo, I'm going to come to you, but wait. Ryan Tannehill, in this same sort of position as Jameis Winston, in the same position as Blake Bortles with Jacksonville last year.
I'm with you.
What are we doing with Tannehill?
I think you keep Tannehill one more year, and you do what the master plan is: draft a quarterback to let Tannehill. Because I agree with the blow it up, but you keep Tannehill and you let a player sit while Tannehill gets murdered all year, and you let him watch. And then next year you run with the young quarterback.
That's diabolical.
Am I wrong?
Tannehill holds.
you
You
might-
know what? I was
might be.
thinking when you first said it, I was like, nah, I think I've seen enough. But yeah, I think that's the exit strategy because you don't want to put somebody out there with like
You let them sit.
You gotta.
Yeah.
The Dolphins to me are the definition of what the NFL is trying to accomplish, and that's extreme parity. It's like the Dolphins are toting at 7-9, 8-8, 9-7
Every year.
every season,
Which is why New England
never
always
a
have
threat.
the easiest path.
And right, and
It's
never
not just
thre-
them. There's 2 other
Right.
mops in that division.
But they remind me a lot of the Tennessee Titans. Who are the Miami Dolphins? Really, who are the Miami Dolphins? And for me, I've personally seen enough of Ryan Tannehill, but I do think it hurts that they lost Juice.
Hey, hold on. When the fuck did he take his pants off?
Devin, this is I take my pants off at every show. It's a good luck charm.
Just so you folks know, it's very real.
I would show y'all,
taking
but
it
this-
back.
Kevin,
Yo, look at these little white
I'm
legs.
with you. Keep going.
I would show y'all, but we gotta keep the ball rolling.
Did you
Yeah.
know less?
No, that's y'all. Y'all gotta look. Stay woke.
he
Listen,
said he was taking them off.
but I think it hurt Tannehill that they lost Juice to Cleveland. But at the end of the day, I think his body of work should speak for itself. And as of in terms of him signing or being re-signed, I don't think it's enough to keep him. But I think Omar's along the right lines. You draft somebody and it can sit a year and then let him go.
Dad, let me come to you, though. Can they afford to blow it up in a market like Miami?
Yes, absolutely. Because Miami is a fair weather town like here. It's a transient city. They can afford to blow it up. Adam Gase is 23-23 in his tenure. Tannehill, although I kind of agree with him being a bridge quarterback, he's hurt every year.
Right.
He's hurt all the time. They need to get something fresh in there. And I have a question. Why the fuck aren't they using Kenyon Drake more?
Hey, for real.
He's second in targets. He's second in rushing yards. And he's second in touchdowns. And he still doesn't get the ball.
And I got your answer. And this is why I asked you the question that I asked. Because Frank Gore was there, who's a Miami homeboy, and they were using Frank Gore for fan engagement. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't
Gloria
disagree.
Estefan can't keep the team together?
I
She's
don't.
still not part owner?
I don't.
Yeah, she is.
Okay. Listen,
Don't Serena own part of them?
I don't disagree with the strategy that you blow it up because you got nothing there, especially in
What you got to lose, though?
in a division that's in transition. You got to lose.
They're an historic franchise. That's what I'm saying. Like, they haven't been in the playoffs and had any success. They haven't been relevant since Dan Marino, really. What have you got to lose now?
What's another, as
by
a
staying-
Dolph fan, what's another year?
What's another year?
Or you take the 4-year approach like Ryan Pace did. You take the 4-year approach where you don't even tell the fans you're doing it, but you're doing it. You know what I
but
mean?
you also have owners, and in that group, you've got a lot of different owners, as you guys already touched on. Gloria Estefan, Serena Williams,
Is Ricky Martin in there?
somebody's
in there.
you got a lot of different owners that
many
they
damn
want
owners.
this to be hot. They want this to go. I just don't know if they can
you
afford
can-
to
you
do
can-
But
it.
it ain't hot.
You gonna have the Super Bowl. You gonna have the Super Bowl every 3 years, man. Live with that.
Let's move to the NFC, and we'll go to Red O first because this is his favorite team to talk shit about. This ought to be fun. We've got the Green Bay Packers, 5-8-1,
5 what?
8-1. Are they at the bottom of the division, Red O?
Very bottom.
Okay, so what
the
should be
bottoms.
what should be on?
Keep it going.
Keep it going. What should be
I thought
on?
they were top.
On the
Get out there. See what I'm saying? We trying to get past it.
what should be on their wish list?
I don't know what's on their fucking wish list. I know what's on mine, and it's 3 coaches. I think they should hire one of these 3 coaches.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Mark Trestman.
it's as bad as you think.
I think Mark Trestman would
Watch
fit
out.
with Aaron
There's
Rodgers.
all 3 bad Bears coaches.
Number 2,
John.
Hugh Jackson.
No.
I think Hugh Jackson and Aaron Rodgers is a reality show waiting. That would be awesome. And number 3, the all-star of all 3, Jeff Fisher. Bring it to Wisconsin. Come on, let's go.
7-9 bullshit.
Junior Blue.
Yeah, oh, y'all don't agree? Fuck Green Bay.
Honestly, I think they need to have a mind shift and stop thinking that whoever we draft, that's who we're going to keep. We're not going to bring in free agents.
I thought they addressed that though when they changed. They got rid of Ted Thompson. Now they've got.
But they're still, I mean, look what they did with.
They spent money on
Clint-
Jimmy Graham.
Look what they did with Clinton Dix.
Yeah,
They got him out
that
there.
was random.
Yeah, and I don't know. He sure would look good covering Trey Burton on that touchdown. Be wide open. So I think
Butt naked.
they really need to address either who they draft or how they'll keep players or how they bring them in. Because honestly, come on now. We talked about it first game of the season. It's really Aaron Rodgers and nobody else.
Yeah. Well, Kevin, we'll have an opportunity to see it because they'll have about $47.5 million in cap space. I'm thinking they need another wide receiver and some O-line help.
Keep going.
Where you?
Yeah, exactly.
Where are you at with it?
They need a roster overhaul. I mean, they have one thing that maybe the other, let's say 28, 29 teams in the NFL have been looking for, and that's an a real elite quarterback, and
Right.
they have it. And
Right.
what's that gotten them so far?
The problem is, Les is right, though. They actually tried to change their mindset. They went after Kyle Fuller, but the Bears re-signed him.
Right.
They went after Khalil Mack.
Right.
But they got beat by the Bears one more time.
Right.
But I think teams have
Now
seen
they're at the bottom.
But I think those guys have
but
seen,
you know what?
right?
No. I'm feeding into it because I'm like, yes,
yeah,
Marcus,
yeah,
that's what I
yeah,
just
yeah,
said. They
yeah.
changed their mindset and not knowing.
But I think it was too
But
little.
wanna
I think it was
shit on
too
them.
little.
But
I
I
think it was
was
too little,
right.
too late.
Uh-huh.
They have to stay with it though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They can't be like, oh, we didn't get Khalil Mack, we didn't get Kyle Fuller. Let's go back to what we were doing. Let's just draft. They need to get it until they get the person they need to help the squad.
Who's the right coach for this team, Dad?
You mean for Aaron Rodgers? But yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
Well, it's definitely none of the 3 that he mentioned. But whoever it is needs to be someone that's innovative. And the name that has kind of popped up maybe not necessarily with this particular job, but I think Jim Harbaugh might be interesting because that's someone that has some kind of cachet and someone that Aaron Rodgers might respect because he obviously stopped respecting McCarthy.
And he's going to stay out of the way.
Right.
Chief diplomat Jasmine said they need Jesus.
He's not coming he's not coming on the sideline no time soon.
Or to Wisconsin.
If he's coming home, it's to Palestine.
All right. And then... Oops.
From the land to the sea.
Oh, my God.
Lamar Hill? What's his name?
Let's keep going. Carolina is on our list. They made it as recently as last night.
They were going to make it anyway. We knew when you talked about that shit was going to happen. Come on, B.
They put up a valiant effort, but unfortunately fell short last night to the New Orleans Saints, 12-9. Very riveting Monday Night Football game. They're 6-8. Kev, what's on their wish list, man? Because listen, they got Cam. Christian McCaffrey
Is the truth.
Luke Kuechly.
Okay, Luke Kuechly is still there, but
They need another.
then you move to the other side of the ball, and that's where it starts to get a little shaky. Talk to me now.
I think they need someone who can make a tough decision for them because if I'm Carolina, right?
Wow.
You got Cam Newton. You're gonna live or die with him, right?
Yeah.
I think after what happened last night and how the season ends, I think Ron Rivera is gone.
He's gone.
I think he's gone.
Snip,
but
snip.
but I think Cam Newton needs North Turner. So if you bring in a new coach, he's likely going to want his own offensive coordinator.
keep him.
I don't think they're going to find anybody better or that can contribute to Cam's game the way he needs better than North Turner can. So you get rid of the head coach and you likely lose the guy that you need. You don't promote North Turner. We've seen that.
That's why I thought you were ahead.
He's got to stay in his lane.
Let me stand clear, Kenyon. We've seen what that looks like. You're new to this game, so that's not happening. So I think that's a tough position to be in
I had
because
an up close and front row seat to North Turner. He was head coach of the San Diego Chargers.
that was before you committed.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah. So I think it's tough because we saw last night, whether injured or not, we've been talking about this for years. The shortcomings of Cam Newton's game. He's an athletic specimen. He can do everything on the field except for make those crucial. I don't care how much he runs linebackers and safeties over. When you have to make throws down the field to win the game, outside of that MVP season, maybe one other year, he hasn't done it.
And he really didn't do it. He ran the ball a lot his MVP season. Junior Blue?
When will they ever get him a number one receiver?
Man,
God.
listen.
That's
Number
numero
one
uno.
receiver. Number one.
Now, you could say, because I thought about that too. In prepping, I was like, man, they need a number one receiver. However, they did draft DJ Moore. They also have Curtis Samuel. You could say that. No. But you could say that those guys could progress into that. They went younger, which is why I focus more on the defense. But it's a legitimate question.
They number ones.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, but they could progress into that.
They need a
though.
hog. Yeah.
But we saw Cam. He was young, but we saw Cam when he had a hog, and what happened between them two. That we got tape Steve Smith and Cam Newton fighting on the sideline. I've seen it.
Good stuff.
I've watched it.
Yeah, but that's an explosive.
Yeah, that's a combo.
Like,
That's what comes with hogs. That's what comes with hogs.
Not like him.
Give me
He's
a hog
special.
receiver. A
Dog,
hog
he's
receiver that's not a
special.
diva.
Dog, he's
No,
special.
no.
You can't compare AJ Green
Harvin
to Steve Smith.
Marison.
Let AJ finish the season. He's a unicorn who also murders. I want to know. Why would you say that? Because it's true, Marvin. I'm sorry.
he
You
ain't
just
LA.
said his name.
You
Yo,
just got
Kevin,
it.
wow. Yo, cut the tape. I'm only here for a week, baby. You either come get me or you don't. I feel you, but in this NFL, I feel like if Cam's going to be around somebody who demands the ball, who needs it when it counts, can he balance that out with his personality? I don't know. I haven't seen it.
All right. Well, I do agree. They need a new coach and a new voice. You can see that they're just not responding. I think, outside of Cam's injury, you look at the losses that they've had, the come from ahead losses, Philadelphia, Detroit.
That's the greatest phrase in sports, by the way.
Right, come from ahead. Think about it.
Yeah. Omar used it
I
like 2
think-
weeks ago. I fell out laughing.
They need a new voice. That will conclude our holiday wish list because any team that hasn't been mentioned,
Hey.
they are either really in contention, and we'll get to them when they are no longer in contention, or they're actually going to make the playoffs.
Real talk, one last thing.
Yeah.
They need another running back because they're going to run Christian McCaffrey into the fucking ground.
He's leading rusher, leading rush attempts, leading receiver, leading in yards.
He's not going to make it. You know,
And he's Kev size.
And he ain't John Riggins.
well, he's not necessarily.
He's
He's stacked.
He's small. No, he's small, bro. He's small.
He's small. I would.
He come from a stable of horses.
He
though.
does from Hogs.
You're right. No, you're right about
He
that.
does from Hogs.
And he is a light skinned running back. Though.
Yeah, he's the light skin. Don't get it twisted.
By default, right.
The other thing though is I would like to see him. The only thing that I feel like is missing from his game, the difference between him and Alvin Kamara, is that, and I think this was intentional. Besides the color,
Nose ring
is and the nose ring, the bull ring, is explosiveness, the explosion, the fact that you don't really see him really running away. But I think that's because he spent a lot of this offseason working on getting stronger because he's not getting tackled.
he's also
off the
getting
first
the ball
contact.
out of 50 snaps, 45 of them.
There's no Mark Ingram on the squad. Slug called him the White Earl Campbell.
He get the ball every play.
Let's get to our football tea, hot topics, and we're going to start with two teams.
Start at the top, baby.
Yeah, two teams that, for the majority of the season have been sort of the pace setters in the NFL. That is the New England Patriots and the Los Angeles Rams. The New England Patriots are 9-5. They've lost 2 in a row for the first time since I can remember. And then you have the Los Angeles Rams that started off blazing hot, and they look incredibly shaky. And the question I have for you guys, and I'll start with you, Red O, is as we approach these playoffs, which of these two front-running teams is in trouble? The most trouble?
I almost think it's 50-50. One, listen. It's separate problems. You got Belichick and Brady over there. Brady is starting to show that he's 50 years old, right. And Belichick just ran out of pieces. Sometimes the king is the only piece left on the board. He need pieces. But the Rams, Goff looks like Jeff Fisher's his head coach right now.
And you wonder why I chose the Chargers. Keep going.
So it's like, but if I had to put money down for the playoffs, like I'm gonna take Brady with one last shot. I'm just, I over Goff.
Dad?
I agree with Omar. Both with 2 Fs. The Rams have a Jared Goff problem. That's been evident. 7 picks in the last 3 games. The Patriots
4 in 1 game against the Bears. But
okay, please stop.
Yes.
The Pats are not going to be playing at home potentially deep in the playoffs. They might even lose in the playoffs in the wild card because that's where they're going to be.
Remains to be seen. Stay tuned.
They are. And whoever's there, they just don't have. And I have a Patriots fan in the office that he comes off like he's like a normal human who speaks like real shit, and then the homerism comes in, and it's like they're just not that good right now. And I think this is Gronk's last year. I think he needs to retire. He needs to go
he
full
might not make it through the season.
WWE.
Right.
They're not utilizing Gordon. Edelman's coming off a major injury. Tom Brady is older, and the style of play that they have, this chuck and duck and quick passes, doesn't utilize the strengths of a Gordon. And they just don't have it, and their defense is porous.
So, okay, let's stay with that offense. First of all, I think the Rams are in bigger trouble. You said it in the chat. I think they lose first round to whoever they play.
I think both of them lose first round.
I was about to say, I do too.
Here's the thing. The one thing I want to put about the Pats, I agree. Brady's regressing. I said at the beginning of the year that the Patriots were going to win 10 games, and they're tracking right at 10 games. The one thing I would say about the Pats is this though. Remember, they tried to trade Gronk. Okay, Gronk threatened to retire. Then they re-signed Gronk. They changed his deal, but it was heavily incentive laden. And I wouldn't put it past the organization that strategically they have gone away from Gronk. so that he doesn't meet his incentives. And then they go back to him come playoff time. I'm just saying because it's treachery. Stay tuned.
That's too much conspiracy theory. They don't look
Hey,
good,
it's
bro.
New England. Hey, ain't no
You
such
can't
thing
put
as too
anything
much
past New
conspiracy.
England.
You're right.
See, this is when the
The
legend,
devil is a lie.
the legend precedes yourself, because like nobody puts anything past them motherfuckers.
Well, and it's because to your point, it's because it's not just Josh Gordon. It's also Gronkowski. It wasn't like on Sunday's game, Gronkowski
third
wasn't
quarter.
getting doubled. He was not getting doubled.
Third quarter was his first.
Was his first
Target.
attempt, first target. Exactly. I'm just, and it's been like
I was
that.
watching.
It's been
Them
like
bitches
that.
needed to get one for us. And they did.
It's been like that all season. Let's move to the team from Washington. Okay, Alex Smith been in the hospital after his tragic injury because he had an infection. He's finally home now, but there is still an outstanding question as to whether or not he will play football
Is it?
again. No. Listen, they are committed to him for the next 2 years at least
fine.
at 20 to 22 million a pop. They're only going to have 20 million in cap space. Junior Blue. What? Because we all know if you don't have a quarterback in the NFL, you've got no shot. What do you do if you're the Redskins at the quarterback position?
What freeway is between Baltimore and
The DMV, baby. Keep it in
I-1.
the
You got the
DMV.
You got the
395,
395,
295,
295, 95, 695, all that shit.
But you only have 20 million in cap space. That's the conundrum.
But
how much
we
is
getting
Joe
there.
Flacco? How much is Joe Flacco going to command?
Well,
And
once
how
he
much
gets-
can they cut?
Once he gets cut, it's whatever the fuck they want to
Exactly,
pay
that's
him.
what I'm saying. So I think that's where he ends up.
But there's a cap space to go towards your bonus though.
What do you mean?
It's like they can give him a signing
Like a
bonus.
signing
right?
bonus.
Yeah.
Well, they in the bag for 20 at least,
And
right?
and that's if Alex Smith plays again.
Right.
And that's why I'm asking the question. Because what I foresee happening is Alex Smith is unable to play again, but they are locked into that commitment. And then it's Colt McCoy.
Nah,
If he retires because of injury, they're not locked into that.
Yeah,
It's,
it's 1 year, right? Not the both, right?
Yeah. But I feel They're like not if he retires because of it, it's not an NBA contract.
it's still a cap hit, though.
No,
Yeah,
it's not the
small-
same.
But
It's insured.
you might be right, but I just feel like if you're Washington, before this injury, before Alex Smith got injured, the game plan should have been whichever year, this year, next year, we're drafting a quarterback because he was the bridge.
Right.
He was not the long-term goal.
No.
And then they started winning.
He's the perfect quarterback if you have a daywalker backup, because then that person's going to be dynamic.
And I don't think they have that, or maybe even their coach for the
Only two of
long
y'all
term.
got that.
So how do you?
So his name has already come up. It was
Kaepernick, Mahomes.
his name's already come up. We've officially it was officially reported this weekend. And we kind of read the tea leaves a week ago once Harbaugh decided that he was going to stick with Lamar Jackson instead of Joe Flacco. This will be the final season of Joe Flacco in Baltimore. Real quick, rapid fire style. Best landing spot for Joe Flacco. Start with you, Dad.
Denver.
Kev.
If not Denver, hey Jacksonville.
Washington.
Washington. Red O.
Washington or Jacksonville.
I got
This shit gonna hurt, yo. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry when he leave.
Kubiak is in Denver.
No one's saying the New York Giants.
No, they
You
can't.
know what? I thought when I was in your bar and I was looking, your girls was like, "Why is Kevin looking at that?" I was looking at the Giants like, "Yo, again, another
they got
bridge."
Flacco already?
Another. Shut up. No.
Don't disrespect Joseph Vincent.
Eli doesn't have the unibrow, and that's the difference. It'll be a great bridge, to maybe a year or two.
The New York Giants.
New
There's
quarterback,
money, isn't
yeah.
there money involved with that though?
The weapons are there.
And do you want to put a non-mobile quarterback behind that trash ass line?
Oh, fact.
That's where you're going to spend your money. You spend your money in your line.
Yeah.
All right. So, as I've said at the beginning of the show, this will be our final episode in the year 2018. When we come back in the new year, it will be time for the NFL playoffs. And if you've been following us for any length of time, you know that when we start the season, we don't try to make Super Bowl predictions. We barely make playoff predictions. But now that we've had a full season almost in the books, now it's time for us to step out there, make some playoff predictions, make our Super Bowl predictions. And because there's still 2 weeks left in the season, this ought to be a little bit fun because there's still some playoff spots to be determined.
Yep.
So I'm going to start with you, Chef Curry.
Correct.
Give us your 2018 playoff predictions as well as your Super Bowl winner.
So the teams that'll be in it, because today is today and tomorrow's never promised. Coming in at the 6th seed in the AFC is those Baltimore Ravens. We have to win out. Praying to God that happens. Then we got Kenyon's San Diego, Los Angeles, Carson Chargers.
That's evil.
Steelers, Pats, Texans, Chiefs. I'm hoping it stays the way that it does.
Okay.
Coming out of the AFC, of course, I'm gonna pick my team, but let's say we just, something happens on Saturday. Bomb threat may or may not get called in if we lose. I think the representative coming from the AFC will come out of the AFC West. I think the Chargers are the most complete team as things stand right now. But I do think that none of these teams, let's say my Ravens fall off, the Chargers do Charger things. No other team in this conference can stop the light-skinned god Patrick Mahomes. I think they take it in the AFC. You want me to do NFC or just
Yes,
keep it?
please.
NFC, it's just a bunch of teams that don't want it. But honestly, I believe styles make fights.
Mm-hmm.
Omar.
We want it.
Omar.
We want it.
The Chicago Bears are built, and I've been saying this for maybe 2 years on the show. The Chicago Bears are built for this. I think Trubisky gets his 2008 version of Joe Flacco on. They go to the NFC Championship game, and I think they win it. Bears in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Styles make fights.
Thank you. I told him this shit earlier.
Styles make yo.
We match up with the
Styles
Saints
make
better than
fights.
anybody in here.
They match up better, and y'all didn't get to me for the the team was in biggest trouble. But I don't believe in any of these teams in the NFC because of how they play football. The Rams don't want it this time of year. They don't want it. I think they peaked too early. I said that in the chat. We got who's the 2 seed? Oh, that was the Rams. The Saints.
They're going to be at home.
They're gonna be home.
You going to
all the
trust
way through.
Trubisky? You going to trust Trubisky
That's
at
my-
home
That's
in the
my
dome?
problem.
Has
with
the
whole
old
thing.
adage changed? Defense wins championships.
We get
The
faster
Saints
on
are a
turf.
different team at home. The Saints are a different team at home, but I think if there's any team out of these 6 that can stop them, it's the Chicago Bears. And I'm not on your side. You can go to hell. But I think the Chicago Bears come out of the NFC.
So Bears, and then who's in the AFC again?
If it ain't my Ravens, then it's the Chiefs. And I ain't watching this bullshit.
All right.
you are.
So,
I mean, you want to get me out the way?
yeah. I mean, let's just go to Red-O.
I mean, AFC, the only change I got is I think Chargers beat y'all, and I think Indy sneaks in.
That's fair.
But I think
I have that.
I think Chargers come out. I just don't trust. I trust Rivers over Mahomes if it comes down to basically a rookie over somebody with 9 kids.
Yeah, he had 8 before. That shouldn't matter. 10 is on the way, Mike. Not yet.
I think Patriots go out in the first round.
Who do you have them losing to?
To Indy?
Oh, to the Colts.
Yeah.
Indy.
But I think,
He's hip.
but I do think the Chargers come out the AFC.
Dad?
You want me to do both?
We already know who I think is
Yeah.
coming out the NFC.
So, wait, actually, you know what? Hold on.
So
Dad.
I think we
hold
get
on.
the Chargers.
You gotta give us a
Super Bowls.
non-homer pick.
So
Give us
who-
a
no,
non-homer
that
pick.
would be
no,
awesome.
no, so
this
who's-
is real shit.
so
I
who's-
think we match up against every team
Watch
in
this.
the NFC.
Dad, watch this. So who wins the Super Bowl, Chargers or Bears?
Since the 1985, the Bears have not won a Super Bowl. We are going to do a Super Bowl shuffle, baby. Let's
The
go.
Chargers have never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they not.
Dad.
All right, so AFC, I have it
Devin,
I have it the same way that Kev has it. I have us getting in.
Okay.
I think the team that comes out of the AFC will come from the wild card. The 2 teams, which
Okay.
are the Chargers or the Ravens.
You think the AFC stays as it
I
is
think
now?
it stands pat.
Better.
Yeah.
That means y'all win Saturday.
Yeah.
Better.
Saturday and then Sunday. What the fuck?
Hashtag homer pick.
And then we would play the Pats, which we've gone up there, and they're definitely not the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then that would leave the Chargers going to curb stomp the Steelers again.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go. I think the Texans. I think we would get the Texans, and you guys would get the Chiefs. We know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I have Ravens going to the Super Bowl because I have to, because fuck y'all and eat a dick.
Give us a non-homer pick.
As far as the NFC, I think it stands pat as is today. I think it's the Seahawks and the Vikings. I don't think the Eagles get in.
Okay.
Because I don't think they win their 2 last games, and I think the Seahawks. The Vikings split.
Mm-hmm.
like I said, the Rams have a Jared Goff problem. And to be honest, like Kev said, styles makes fights. I like the Bears coming out the NFC because I do not believe in the Rams. The Saints have looked.
The fuck is going on here?
I'm getting nervous.
Don't worry, Omar. I'm not picking it. Bring it back to life. Bring it back to life.
This is real shit because, as you know, I'm a minimalist, and the way football works. Although the Saints have been running the ball and playing decent defense, like the way they've looked, they can't.
You can't run.
And the
on
way
us.
that they've looked the last few weeks, I don't care if it's in the dome. That defense travels. It just comes down if Money Mitch doesn't fuck up the money.
The irony.
I have a Ravens Bears Super Bowl, and we face hump them.
Shit.
And we face
we
hump
kill
them in
Omar
Atlanta.
regardless of the outcome.
Yeah.
Junior Blue.
All right. Bring us back to life. First off, I have the Colts getting in the same reason Omar had them in. I have the Patriots as a second seed, mainly because they play the Jets in Buffalo.
Yes.
Their last two games, it's the AFC East.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got the Texans actually losing Sunday to the Eagles. So that's the difference.
And that's the thing, though. We'll get to that in the NFC.
Yeah.
I actually end up having the Texans going to the Super Bowl, beating the Chiefs in the AFC
They
Championship.
can't block nobody.
Wait.
I have the Texans.
So the AFC stays the same.
AFC stays except for
except the Colts. Except the Colts get in.
I said all of a sudden we look sane.
and then the Texans play the Patriots.
The
Yes.
Patriots win a game?
No, they'll be
So you got the Texans beat. First of all, you got the Texans beating the Colts.
Yep.
And then the Texans play the Patriots.
Yep, and beat them.
Okay.
And then they end up playing KC and beat them. It's my preseason dark horse. Tell them.
Wow. Okay. Let's
So-
go to the NFC.
NFC, I have it staying the same. I have Philly beating the Texans this week, actually. So what that does is that flip-flops it, because I think the Vikings, it all depends on if the Bears have something to play for week 17.
We will, because nothing.
Can't
Go
take no
ahead.
days off.
Uh-huh.
No, Y'all
you
can't
try
take days
to
off.
get
the bye, but
we trying to get the number 2 seed.
I think the Rams have the Cardinals.
They have the Cardinals and the Niners.
And
yeah,
I think
so,
the Niners gonna beat them.
So, and then, so to me that puts the Eagles. To me, that puts the Eagles in. That puts the Eagles in the
Yes.
in the playoffs.
I'm with you.
So
I
I
had
end
the
up
same thing.
Yeah, I end up having the Rams versus the Bears after the Bears knock off the Philly. And then I have the Cowboys and Saints after the Cowboys knock off Seattle, and making it Bears versus Saints, and then the Saints win at home. Saints go to
So
the Super Bowl.
I'll stay with you. I definitely have it Saints, Bears, and I agree. Eagles, same thing. I mean, I'm not, and we talked about it before the show, Omar and I'm not trusting Mitch Trubisky in the dome.
Y'all ain't gotta believe in
they
us.
won a game.
We got us.
They won a
We believe in us.
They went to the Super Bowl.
They won a
with
game.
Rex Gross. Gross man.
Listen,
He's gross man.
The Saints won a game
And
last
Mitch is
night
wet.
on the road. The
Mitch
score
is
was
real.
12-9.
A game
Mitch
they shouldn't
gonna
have won,
prove y'all
but they
wrong.
won. A game
They
they
won.
shouldn't have won, but
They
they
won.
won.
Mitch gonna prove y'all wrong.
They won, but I mean, let's look at the Panthers. They are in free fucking fall.
I'm just saying
mode.
that if it needs to come down to the nitty gritty, I'm taking Drew Brees over Trubisky. Point
No,
blank.
I mean,
period.
if that's the
Point blank.
conversation,
Period.
yes.
And that is the conversation.
But-
That's gonna be the conversation.
Michael
in the
Thomas
Saints-
gonna have,
the
Michael
Saints ain't
Thomas
look the
gonna have
same.
2 catches the whole game.
In the AFC,
I can't. I've seen this movie before. That's all I'm saying.
in the AFC, I do have the Colts in, and the only thing I would
Saying that Saturday.
is that I've got the Pats finishing at 2. I do think the Pats still make it to the AFC Championship, and I'll tell you why. Because the Colts, upstart defense, Andrew Luck, but their one vulnerability all season has been at the tight end spot in the middle of the field. And I think Gronkowski, and also in the game early in the season,
That voodoo you was talking.
well, not only that, but earlier in the season, the Patriots did play the Colts. James White had 10 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown. And I think running backs out of the backfield, that's the middle of the field. That's the seams. I think the Pats win, but then they lose
Two
to the
different
Chargers.
teams right now.
I think they lose to the Chargers.
Both of them are two different teams right now.
so
and
you
I
have
think-
the Colts beating the Texans.
I do have the Colts beating the Texans. Absolutely. I got the Colts beating the Texans for sure. I think the Colts are the team that nobody wants to play right now. Point blank, period. And I think that second game between Colts and Texans is a lot like
There's a
how
team nobody
the
wants to
playoff
get
will
in.
go.
including 3 of you motherfuckers sitting here.
And so
If y'all
then,
got in, I just don't think you will.
and so then,
That's fair.
and so then I have a Chargers Saints Super Bowl, and to your point about.
Of course, it works with his team.
And to your point about Michael Thomas, the last 4 games, he's averaged 6 catches for 56 yards. I definitely think teams are now starting to double team Michael Thomas.
He's the onlyest.
Yeah, he's the onlyest, exactly, which has put a gunk in the offense. I think the Chargers do win the Super Bowl and win the city of Los Angeles.
That's wishful thinking.
Because he know
Kenyon,
they
the
beat
Chargers.
the Bears.
Listen, hey y'all,
That was
listen,
2 segments ago.
listen. Chargers win the Super Bowl. Chargers win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I move out here,
Whoa.
Say it one more time so we believe you.
and I've been drinking. The Chargers move out here. The Chargers move out here. I'm sorry. The Chargers win the Super Bowl. I'm moving out here. That shit ain't happening.
Damn, am I rooting for the Chargers?
Now you confused.
We know that shit ain't happening.
Let's get to our Week 16.
Talk about a re-nigga.
Let's get to our Week 16 game picks. First of all, Kevin. Hey,
It's a tough
somebody's
I
making
see
a move, brother.
I see you.
Huh?
We only got two more weeks.
2
bro.
more weeks. Hey, 3 wins in 2 weeks.
I had a bad week.
You had a bad week. Yeah, you went the wrong way. But Devin and Les and myself, we are on your ass, Mr. Postman. We got 2 weeks left.
All I needed
Hey,
was a
Kev, I
better
believe
week.
in you. You got this.
Thank you.
All right, let's start.
pick the Bears.
We'll save the best for last. We've got Kansas City, Seattle. Listen here, Kansas City would another come from ahead loss to my Los Angeles Chargers at home last Thursday, going against the Seattle Seahawks, who surprisingly got thumped by the San Francisco 49ers. The game is in Seattle. Junior Blue, who you got?
I got KC.
Really?
Yep.
All right, Kev.
Only got what, a 3-game lead? Who you picking?
Obviously, it don't matter who you pick on the show.
It don't matter.
Apparently.
Sunday is a different story. Listen, things happen. Information changes.
I'm taking Seattle to win.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That's a hard environment to win in, and I think again the blueprint.
And Kansas City can't stop the run.
Facts. That may change, but I feel you. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs, but I feel you.
I hope you take the Chiefs. Dad?
Don't let them get in your head.
The Chiefs cannot stop the run, but I don't think the Seahawks have enough. I'm
Really?
going with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm with the Chiefs. I think Kansas City outscores them.
Oh, I hope we stay like this. That's one. Let's go
It
to
won't be.
another big
I
game. Pittsburgh, New Orleans.
Oh, we know what this is.
The game is in New Orleans. I think before Sunday, we was all like, yo, the Pitt is about to lose to the Patriots, and then they're going to go to New Orleans and going to take that hot L. Then Pittsburgh said, nah, hold that thought. Can they do it again 2 weeks in a row, Redo?
Who knows? They look different every other goddamn
Every
week.
week.
Every week. Well, they may look different, but they ain't look good.
True.
Well, shit.
Speak on it.
I think it's Drew Brees time, man. I think I'm gonna take New Orleans.
Dad.
Is Artie Burns still on the roster?
Absolutely.
Okay, the Saints.
Even with the double team of Michael Thomas, Kev,
Ben Roethlisberger on the road.
it's trash.
Fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, nah. Go ahead, Saints.
Yeah.
Saints got it.
Saints got it. I'm with you. We're all in on the Saints. And finally,
You already fucking know.
we got
You already know what the fuck it is. Let me take my jacket off.
we've got the Baltimore Ravens who are in
Move this shit
town.
out the way. You see what it is?
Baltimore
Lord.
Ravens in town against the Los Angeles Chargers.
Motherfuckers.
This is a big game
It's
for
a big
the
nut bust.
big game. It's a big game for the Ravens.
Don't know how to act.
Junior Blue, who you got?
I already said it. Chargers.
Redo.
Chargers.
All right, guys.
That's it. That's all that needs to be
All right,
said.
you two can leave now. We got personal things to say.
I'll ask you guys a question. Are you Lamar Jackson has fumbled literally in every game that he has
Multiple
started
times.
in multiple times. Are you concerned about him at all going on the road against the Chargers?
Is it gonna rain on Sunday? Saturday?
No.
All right, we good.
Realistically, I wouldn't admit this in front of the rest of you guys, but absolutely. I think we turn the ball over, we lose this game.
But if ifs and buts was candies and nuts,
Christmas be every day.
Christmas will be every day. Baltimore! This is for you. This can't, because what real fans do is they never pick against their team.
what happened last
I'm in
week?
LA. We taking this shit over. Ravens, please help me out.
Hey,
Let's get this win.
who picked the Chiefs last week?
That guy over there
I sure
with the
did
with the
pick the
powder
Chiefs.
blue on.
Sure did.
Fake ass.
I
But
got.
I think it's gonna be an interesting game. We
It's gonna be a
can't
good game.
turn the ball over, bro. We
Beef
can't.
week is real.
Hey, you can't
ain't
call
real
me.
beef.
Listen here, you can't call me a fake ass fan when y'all motherfuckers sat here and made me choose a team, and I went
didn't
down the
make you.
motherfucking line, and I told you that's two motherfuckers if you're counting that I was choosing the Chargers, and I had my reasons for it. And at the beginning of the season,
that's not
it
why.
came back-
to the cheerleaders.
Listen, that's not
why,
And
Omar.
at the beginning, no, let me finish. And at the beginning
Is
of
you
the
finished? Is
season,
you done?
at the beginning of the season, everybody was clamoring for the Rams. Yeah, hit the button. Yeah, right. Everybody was clamoring for the Rams, and they was all on the Rams. And I told you I was all in with Anthony Lynn. Now we've had some shaky weeks. Listen, this is new for me. Okay, I got a white man.
Wait,
I'm wearing
hold
a
on.
white man on my back. I'm
had-
choosing the Chargers.
You had some shaky weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I sure did. I sure did. But listen here.
I don't know about this fandom thing.
Listen. Yeah, I sure don't. I don't know about it. But I'll tell
Y'all
you
got
this.
notes, y'all.
I'll tell you this.
Yeah, he got to read from the prompter right
Yes. This shit ain't genuine. We're gonna blow y'all.
Like I said.
Hey, here's the third one. Here's the third one.
hold on.
No,
You
here's
You
the
gotta
third
do
one.
like this.
Hold on,
You know,
Dad.
here's the third one.
There you go.
We gonna blow you motherfuckers out.
Really?
Blow out.
You got a score?
Hey, we is a horse turd.
24.
Yeah, it was we.
Who the fuck is we?
24
you got a
to
mouse in your
13.
pocket, motherfucker?
24-13.
24-13 Chargers. All
Good
right.
luck, good luck with that.
All in with Ken. We ready?
Are we doing that?
We
you
doing
a
it.
gambling man. You talking about 24-13? Let's gamble some more.
24-13. Come on. What you want to put on it?
Oh,
Why don't you tell me how much money I'm gonna get back from this bullshit ass thing?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
All in with Kim, motherfucker. We ain't got no problem. Fuck him. Fuck my bookie. Eaterdick.com. That's what it is. Go for it, Ken.
Uncle Jamie in the building.
All right. We gonna say this quick and get out of here.
Somebody get Kev. Kev eyes about to
I don't know
pop out.
what this is. I'm usually in the comfort of my own home. What is this shit?
This is Uncle Jamie doing his
All
work.
right. Let's see real quick.
Won't he?
We've got I don't even
Get it together.
Up the man
yeah.
shit.
Listen. Atlanta, Carolina. It's in Carolina. Take the under 47. Cam Newton's shoulder's about to fall off, and Atlanta's offense is trash. Take the under 47. Take Dallas to win to clinch the division. They're going to beat Tampa Bay at home, and this is for my fellas from Baltimore. The Chargers to cover at 4.5. And if you want $50 for it, I got it right here for you. Chargers to cover at 4.5. And so pick the Chargers to cover at 4.5, as I said for the fourth time. Dallas to win, and then the under in Atlanta, total of 47. We got anything else here?
Clip this whole bitch up.
Hey, real talk. I do want this. This is the second in studio show.
This is
I've
the second
done.
one, yes.
I haven't seen you guys in 3 months?
Yeah.
So it's been great. I'm happy to be out here. Weather's nice, but Baltimore, you my baby. You know I never leave you, girl.
Happy
That's
holidays.
because the Chargers ain't gonna win a fucking Super Bowl. That's why. Hey, talk about equivocal. This motherfucker is calculated.
Do you love me? Hey.
No.
We don't bring up old shit, Les.
No, hey, Les.
That's dead, bitch.
The fucking monkey came and went.
The fucking monkeys is coming.
Let's
please
get
cut
out of
it.
here.
Get us outta here. Get
Let's
us outta
get
here.
out of here. Happy holidays from the League Ambassadors.
Hair down, baby.
We will see you in 2019. Once again, follow us everywhere on social media. Our handle's at the League AM. Follow us this Saturday because there will be true TLA beef when we're tailgating at the game, as well as at the game. I'm saying this as a reminder to us as well. We all need to hit the Instagram stories for that. And we'll see you in the new year. Cheerio!
Caw,
bitch!
Games as I'm running down the line. We got Kenny Ken put 100 on a tease with the streak for the cash. He ESPN. Seth Curry with the shot. In reality, he's more like Seth, but he's all we got. Up next is Gentleman Jack, better known as Junior Blue. We told him not to do it anyway, but he did what he do. To his right is Devin, that dude, L Dad or Dirt Ass Dan. Just don't ask him a question, Cause then he'll answer your question with another question, and then he'll add another question on top of that question. Damn. And I'm Red O, the buck wild problem child.
Flow butter, aka John Cutter.
It's the league ambassadors, and we playing to win at the 2-yard line. And make no mistake, we running it in. Pete Carroll, we see you. Seven names, no games as I run it down the line. We got Kenny Ken put 100 on the tees with the streak for the cash. He ESPN. Seth Curry with the shot. The prodigy. In reality, he's more like Seth, but he's all we got. Up next is Gentleman Jack, better known as Junior Blue. We told him not to do it anyway, but he did what he do. To his right is Devin, that dude, El Dad or Dirt Ass Dan. Just don't ask him a question, cause then he'll answer your question with another question, and then he'll add another question on top of that question. Damn. And I'm Red O, the buck wild problem child.
Flow butter, aka John Cutter.
It's the league ambassadors, and we playing to win at the 2-yard line. And make no mistake, we running it in.